Okay. My goodness.
I just don't want nobody coming with me. Because when I was
Hello. How are you?
I am exhausted. I had 2 papers due.
You pulled an all-nighter, didn't you?
2, bro. I didn't see like 4. And then I just, what? Well,
Oh yeah, just full all night, and you can work for hospice.
yeah, I got one more thing to do, and that's the what's it called? The interviewing. Well, not interviewing, but looking at the group.
Observing a group,
Yeah,
right?
I found a couple of them that I want to look at, but not really none that I'm scheduled for.
Right.
But it's
Well-
a couple of them that you gotta, like, it's a couple of them that you gotta schedule, and it's a couple of them that you gotta pay for.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah, like I didn't know that you had to pay for a session or something like that.
No.
Maybe I was on the wrong day.
For Alcoholics Anonymous, send me the link to that. Now I'm curious. You've got
I got a name again. I was like, I kept looking, like, I was like, all right, I'm not paying this shit.
no
I was looking for
It's-
something else.
open online and free access. You would do like
I'm
AA
on my phone, so I don't really.
meeting online. You can even search that on your phone. It should just click you right in. You might need Zoom. But here you go. Browse the directory of online meetings. There you go. And then it'll show you like in order which one to click on. It's usually, here you go. You got Monday at 1, and we can probably jump right in. Let me see if I'll put us on mute. Yes.
Freaking A meeting, it was almost in tears.
Okay. I was going to ask how your experience was observing.
Actually, really,
Right. It's like the real deal.
yes, it was so
Yes. AA meetings.
for the observer group assignment, I just got on Zoom for the AA meeting. It was really touched my heart. The things those people said really resonated with me.
I don't know, like, for me, it's more so like, I be peeping people bullshit sometimes.
Really?
Like, yeah, like, people, like, they be out here and they be addicts and stuff, you know, like, you can tell a person who just, you know, followed the leader and shit, and got messed up. But you will tell a person, because, like, I was telling my boy and stuff, he was like, keep being here for everybody. And I would tell him, like, bro, like, you will see an old lady with all her stuff outside, and then you will see another person or another man, whatever you want to call him, outside with nothing. Bro, this lady's outside with all her stuff because she lost something. She ain't outside just because she's doing that stuff, bro. You can tell a person who's doing drugs and a person not doing drugs. And I don't know, like, I should be looking at stuff like that. Like, whenever I'm
So AA is
somebody or pay attention.
correct. AA is a self-help group. So you probably, what you noticed was probably people telling their experience with getting sober.
Like, those people were only days sober.
Right.
Or hours sober.
So it was raw.
Yeah.
Correct. That happens a lot, especially in open meetings. Where city was it based out of?
I don't know. It was something like Zoo Crew. So it was people from everywhere, and there was some people from.
Tell them we said what's up.
Like it was people from Canada there, Detroit, Canada,
Okay.
a bunch of people. Some people in there on a treadmill.
Right.
Like, that's how much they wanted to be in that meeting. Like,
That's impressive that, yeah, they're doing.
dedication. Some people said they would be there since that morning, and I joined the meeting at 3:30, and it was like, yeah, I've been in meetings all day since this morning, as soon as I woke up.
Okay.
Like,
To
that's
stay
crazy.
sober. Right. Yeah. So different experiences with Alcoholics Anonymous. Again, you don't have to observe Alcoholics Anonymous. It can be any mental health group. It can be one that you know somebody at Central was a person in for a day or two. And I know AA is the easiest for some of you guys, or going to Al-Anon is the easiest, and that's why folks choose it. But sometimes you can get them just this from like, hey, look, you can jump in right here, and then it's not running. So get back into it's probably this, and they do them.
I joined the meeting or whatever, and I guess their whole like thing was like they didn't want to make like AA meeting like depressing. They wanted to be like positive.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do it like in a different light or whatever. So when I joined over there, like of course everybody had to introduce themselves, say how long they've been sober and stuff like that. They went from person to person to person. And it was just so crazy because when it was going from person to person, it was like the ages was just changing.
There is a
It
lot of
was
different
young
ages.
people, then it
Yep.
was like old people,
Yep.
and it was like older people. Like
Mhm.
it was just crazy.
So how long?
Solution focus. They're all 1 hour. So the key is, you see the top left corner, you want an open discussion. If it's a closed meeting, you have to identify as an alcoholic. Now, certainly you can do that. You could. I mean, I'm sure. So there's also Zoom bombers, and people like play around and will like throw pornography in there. Like,
Yeah, it was 130 people.
They didn't even know. I think they just said welcome there. No.
oh, because your name popped up.
It was like they're welcome, but I ain't gonna lie.
If it's an open meeting, yeah.
I listened to a couple people.
Uh-huh.
And then I left, and this is why. Because when he said welcome Farrah, I felt like he was going like person by person. So I thought he was gonna come to me last.
And you can pass. If they call on you, you can pass.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know that at work, so I didn't know what to say. Like oh, I'm not an alcoholic. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, probably too much urban.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, like, wise, it's over or something like that.
Right.
So,
Because some people, yeah, they want to determine if they're an alcoholic or not. Like they still don't know, so they go to an open meeting, hear stories, and see like if you drink, once you start, you don't stop, or maybe you black out. You've had other consequences, like several ways it could go for you. Again, this is just one example of a mental health group because it's the easiest during the pandemic. We opened it up to have folks able to go in. I'll see if I get in this one. I feel like it's open. Does it say it in there?
I couldn't find at the end of the syllabus the questions for me to answer.
Really? It's literally the form that says,
The syllabus was on D12.
Yeah, it wasn't on well, I don't know. If it was on something else, then that's not.
what is a D2L? Yeah. So let's just start from there, because that way.
Because I looked at it, it looked like it said like insert, like it was.
Yeah, it was like the template for the rest for the.
Oh, if you go to where it's listed syllabus, I have it under content. So I'm content. And then here's the syllabus if they give me an option to download. So yeah, download here, and the questions are the end. And what's that?
Can I ask a question?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. So you observe your AA meeting or whatever you do. If it's an online mental health group or an agency that you went to that you would like to work at, download the syllabus. Is that how
You
we
sent me the other day, right?
Yeah.
probably?
I didn't see it on my side.
Yeah, the syllabus.
Where is it at, you said?
So I went into what is called content. That's the place where I see them. They say you can download.
So it's content and then it's overview and you scroll down.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
But that's on his end though.
I'm saying that can't be on our end.
Is it?
That's where most people have gotten them in the past, because I've always done it that way.
Because I went to
I just
content
went straight to syllabus.
and then I went to syllabus and course information.
Course syllabus.
So that doesn't look like it has
Like, yeah, this don't got.
right here. See where it says syllabus? I'm not in there. I'm in overview. So like the main page of content.
So I gotta have my computer for this.
Oh, okay, it is on there.
My bad.
That's okay.
I say, you see it on your phone?
I'm sure you.
You gotta press launch course.
I'm on post right now. I can't do it on
They said the live is skipping, so you got to sign out and sign back in to get it.
You gotta go to the class and then press launch course in homepage.
Mm-hmm.
Press the three dots in the
Do they offer yoga in term B for you guys?
I wish.
Take a 1 credit hour yoga class for term B. I don't know either.
That should be mad with social workers.
I think it's
Term A. Oh. What do they offer for term B? If somebody's looking for a 1 credit hour term B.
One credit,
1 credit.
like they need like a
Gym, you said? Just do gym.
now they have half semester gym class.
Really?
What, 2 classes?
yeah, you gotta take them in the fall.
I would hope they
Yeah,
would.
but I-
It's too.
But I feel like it's not gonna be a half semester class, it's gonna be a full semester.
It's definitely a force.
Like they can pick it up.
If you didn't get in yoga, you got to jump in something now.
Probably like an ethics course or something.
And it's going to be 3 hours. You're just screwed. I only want 1 hour, so I graduate with exactly 120. It doesn't happen that way sometimes. Like, if we don't plan out our schedule, plans us. What's the worst?
Where did I say it was at?
You go into content like this. It says CONTENT.
Right.
Her
And let's see.
And then in content under overview, it has some of those. But then the main syllabus is just dropped in like here. Spring of 2023, course description. You can download it, which is what I did. And
Oh, it's a group assessment.
yes. Yeah, so you go to the end. The very end is your final papers. So that's the third one. But here it is, group assessment. That's what you do.
I hope I did mine correct.
All you have to do is answer all of these questions.
Like towards the end, I didn't really know like what it was talking about, but
Some of the stuff is in the book,
I
and
just tried.
like Google it.
Yeah, I tried Googling it.
Right. That's where the book usually is, because it gets so specific you can't even just search stuff. It's like, well, you kind of need the book. Okay. It is kind of easy. I'm not going to lie. I wish it was a little harder, but the key is you have an experience with seeing how a group is. This is how you make a lot of the money in social work, is you would lead a group, whether it's a trauma group or an adolescent counseling group or an addiction group or a recovery group, things of that nature. And those are kind of the route that. And from there, you'll observe, then lead your own, and then write up a group proposal. There's only 3 major, they are big ass assignments. All of them are big. The first one is like easy as hell because you observe it, fill out the sheet.
You said the second one?
Second one is running your own group. Like, right.
paper, like 10 pages, right?
The paper is great. It probably is. It's getting you ready for grad school and practice, really, is the.
So those practice 3 probably gonna be nothing but papers.
I bet you it's like crazy long papers.
The kids teach that?
Probably.
Yeah, I need you. Yeah, I was trying to
She doesn't have to next year, but she wants to.
I said summertime. She said she teaching in summer too. If y'all get it.
If you all take it and you have enough students. Oh, you're taking it now.
No, I took it last semester.
Well, how many papers is there?
The fact that you got a name on it is crazy, bro.
Is it? But you know what though?
Real, like, oh, God.
Miss Nikita though, like she really, I don't know, like if it's like 15, 10, like
Right.
pages real
And you can edit and turn it in, and
quick,
rewrite
turn
it.
in.
Yeah.
I think
That's fun.
the thing, I feel like it's like maybe like 3 or 4 papers, and then we have like a presentation. It's a lot of. I think it's like a presentation. I think I had to do like 1 or 2 presentations, so but it's like little stuff, and then like notes and stuff, of course, so like slides and she go over it. But besides that, like I think it's like 4 papers. I don't know how much to make sure. I think it's like 4 papers. You gotta do like 5 papers or something like that. Like it's pretty cool. It's just the only thing is when I had the class, I had to do 5:45 to 8:15. So
She doesn't do that anymore either.
No.
I was the last one. All right.
Probably because like the longer you teach, the more you realize you would like to have your day complete between 9 and 5.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to start a family, you got to go home and freaking feed them and do all that crap you don't want to do, or work a second job to pay for them, whatever is your choice.
She killed me because she used to say, "We never gonna leave out here at 8:15. We gonna leave early. The girl 7:45."
Man,
I know.
Man, she killed me with that. I had one of her classes last semester, and she was like that, bro.
Yes,
Like, it
I'm
started
sure.
at 5:45 or something like
That's kind of
5:30,
funny, actually.
8:30, 8:15, and she'd keep us all the way to like.
That's good to do this time because.
Because she's so passionate about what she likes.
Oh.
I love that about her, but like, it's like
Yeah.
3 hours.
That's why you got to do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's just about the time you start getting going, and the class is over. Just show up and do your work, and she'll.
Just show up late.
We're both the same. We're both the same. Like you show up. We want to train to be good social workers. We don't want, like we want to stay accredited. We want to do everything that we're supposed to teach you. And it takes a bit of 5.
Yeah, because I mean, girl, I'm coming. It's not like I'm missing no time. We're gonna do it for 3 hours.
That is a
That's what I'm
long.
saying, bro. Like, how do you got something to talk about for 3 hours?
You'll be surprised.
I know.
I can't even make a presentation that's more than 10 minutes. It's all right.
Like,
That's partly why I do 1 hour classes now. My attention span is 1 hour.
what's crazy is like you really don't got to listen though, because
You
she
do.
really saying some
Yeah.
important stuff that you need to learn. That's no
Yes.
on the test. Like,
Absolutely.
it's
She
like-
really does.
That's why I'm like, okay, let me listen. Like,
Well, and her and I both try to stay sharp within our practice. Like I still practice to keep my license, and I do stuff that is license worthy because, I want you guys getting the current info. Like that one about how to write the notes, how to do all of those different things. Why is that not in my last, maybe it's this one.
I
Yeah.
hate working out.
Still working out? Are you supposed to quit in February and just go back to eating whatever you want?
But I was just like, you know what? No, I'm really trying to like grow up, y'all, and become an adult and like really get into my fitness regimen and like really try to be active. We get older.
Self-care. Self-care.
My limbs are sore. I can't.
So the
Understand.
So the hardest part of that is something that's self-care that keeps up with the pace. I know you guys have all seen this, but I always go through this one. Maybe if you haven't had me yet, you haven't seen my self-care, or you skipped class. I did a self-care presentation.
No, I didn't do that.
But I try to do it right at the first 4 or 5 weeks of every class that I teach because this is the only way you stay in social work. Otherwise, I would have done quit by now. Yeah. You could present it in your next class. He's like, that's what my presentation. You got to cite me. I actually helped him. He cited me at the end of this because I helped him create this. So in grad school, we did like our own self-care stuff that was learning how to be a sustainable social worker, like staying in it for the long haul, not just like jumping in, making a bunch of money and burning out. Because you can do that if you want to jump in, see a bunch of clients, lose your mind, and then quit. And I have friends that have done that. But part of it is financial too, like getting yourself set up financially so you don't have to like make so much money that you're working all hours of the day. And that was hard for me to get. That like the less I spend, the less I have to make. But yeah, you can make a lot of money in social work. And if you are that type that can see 8 clients a day, you can make $80,000 a year. I'm not one of those. I see like 4. Actually, today I have a client at 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that's a rough day for me. That's. You can get some pretty unique sets of clients. It's more just going back to back to back to back. I also teach this class, and I have to drive there half an hour away, try to cram in lunch, and when I self-care, I'm better. What'd you say? Oh, it's salad. I forget what from now. I can't even remember anymore. But I forget why. What?
Spinach.
You don't owe me anything, but I can't remember what it's from.
It was from Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
The salad we had in Cincinnati.
Right. But you were saying you want to get another one.
Yeah, I don't think one for you.
What's funny about that whole salad is I brought that to my Sunday family dinner, and they tried to give me shit about it because they wanted me to like whip something up from scratch that I made myself. Yeah, they better. So anyway, salad is self-care. I know that's weird. So this is like your quote that we can lose our self. Like that's the point of this quote is that like I take care of all these other people. Then now I've got 3 kids at home I got to pay for. I forget about me. When I forget about me, I don't exercise. Like it was funny is I'm adding one more client time slot because I have a new online private practice. What's that?
Because like that's a real thing, like, especially like what I'm like what we try to do like social work and stuff like that. You could help so many people and be like so successful and help people with their lives and stuff like that. And then you go
You skip yourself.
and you like
Crash and burn.
about me, like,
You don't even do your laundry. You barely eat anything but McDonald's and then go to bed watching TV. So it keeps you up till 3 a.m. You got to wake back up at 8 a.m. and do it again. So that can happen. And that's why. So in this one, we talk about burnout, stress, self-care, how to empty your cup, how to nurture yourself. So if you skip the class I present this in, I try to do this in every class because this is your key to long-term social work sustainability. So one thing is when you see clients that have trauma, we take on all of their trauma. And you have to find a way to kind of move it through you. You know what I mean? You certainly want to give them back the proper empathy and counseling skills and absorb all of it to where you have called secondary traumatic stress or compassion fatigue. And that's symptoms that occur in individuals experiencing trauma or symptoms with re-experiencing flashbacks, nightmares, arousal, anxiety, hyperactivity, avoidance, numbing, dissociation. That's the first one. The second one is compassion fatigue. So you might experience any of these symptoms in compassion fatigue. Persistent arousal, intrusive thoughts or images of clients' traumatic experiences or your own traumatic experiences. Like it'll bring it back up into you. Like while you're talking to people and they had a traumatic childhood, they might share their ACEs, or the adverse childhood experience, and you remember something from your own childhood, like, holy crap, I experienced that. Like, I was this, that, or the other. You could have depression, hypervigilance, loss of hope, confusion, or even helplessness. Burnout is this other one, compassion fatigue. There's when people experience trauma degrees. I think you've told me before, but I can't remember. Kids, work with kids. Okay. Which is a good one to start out in, is like sometimes jumping right into adults can feel overwhelming because it's like, right. So,
I can see you in the military.
military stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
But I had to find a master's program that focused on the trauma.
University of Kentucky.
They do.
And they have a military social work degree too. They have both. That's where Nikita's at right
You
now.
can go to university in a military program.
They have specific military MSW, a military specialty. And yeah, if you wanted to join ROTC and have it paid for, you could probably do that too. Reserve Officers Training Corps. They have it paid for, I'm sure.
So is it like going into the army, going to the army for social work, is that similar to grad school?
So you would have to like detail it better for me. Do you want to be a social worker that specializes in military counseling, people of the military counseling, or do you want to do Reserve Officer Training Corps where you like join the army and do ROTC? We have it on campus actually. It pays for full college
Because it's
tuition.
different, because you could be a citizen worker, but you wouldn't be a military, but you would be working for the military.
Mhm.
Or you could be in the military and work as a social worker.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm planning on doing.
Hell no.
You want to join the military, right?
Not
Right.
like not necessarily like not more so like National Guard or something like I would.
Well, so ROTC is specific to officers.
Yeah.
So you join, like you can do it right now on campus, and you join Reserve Officer Training Corps, and they give you a stipend and money. All you do is show up for Thursday. You see the dudes in their fatigues. I feel like we take people from Cedarville, and that's why it's like, but it's open to everybody. And you've seen they're off like 1 or 2 weekends where they send you down to Fort Benning or Fort Campbell, where the gold is in Kentucky, and you like work out, get in shape.
Because I think Rello's still in the army too.
Who is?
Rello, dang, what's Rello's real name?
I don't know.
Does he wear the fatigues?
I don't know, but I don't think he's in ROTC, but I think he was, because I think before he came to school, he was actually like in the army, and then he ended up coming to school, and then they started paying for it. So I had a call with him last year, and he was there for like 2 weeks. They came and got him. He said he was somewhere in a ditch. He couldn't tell us where he was.
He was his older guy.
He's like, hell, like.
Why was he in a ditch though?
Like he got deployed.
Oh, okay.
He said they
Okay.
was laying in
That's how it was when I was in my eighth, not my eighth grade, my freshman year.
So you know where that little office is. We walk by it on the way to the cafeteria every day. It has the big old picture up. And have you ever seen them working out with their fatigues on over there too?
I see them in the morning or so.
Right.
They be outside, like,
So usually if you join those, you have 1 day a week you have to wear your fatigues because you're part of the military, and they pay your school and room and board and tuition or a stipend of sorts. You show up on Thursdays to work out with them, and then you might have like a weekend or 2 in the summer and spring break, and you're training to be an officer. So you're trained to be in charge of all those military guys, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, it's something that I look into.
Yeah.
That's
And
something I look into.
so Kentucky would have that, and they also have a specialty area in military social work.
So how would they work with how would they work with me trying to actually still be a social worker?
How would they? Well, you're getting a degree here.
so they would work around that.
Yeah, your class is a part of your military stuff that you're doing, and then you just show up on a Thursday to work out, and like Friday you wear your fatigues, and like in the summer maybe you go to your workout place, if that's what you're asking. Okay. Shoot, it already wants to die on me. But hey, we're down to our 19 minutes. We're going to finish self-care, and then we'll do chapter 5 on Wednesday. So Destiny's asking if they have a 1 credit hour class. B term. Do you guys know? I don't remember
Possibly.
any of it.
You could.
Yoga or something
I
else.
think it took me like 3 credit hours though.
Is it really?
That's a basketball class. That's a basketball. That's a swimming.
Walking's a class, swimming's a class. They're kind of like.
I did walk.
Like 380.
Yeah, but I didn't go, but I paid. Because of COVID.
Okay. So, because you'll hear it a lot, and how do you prevent it? That's kind of the point of this. So your burnout symptoms are like, you might get bored. You guys might even get bored with school. You know what I mean? Where you're like texting all day, talking to your friends, whatever. Unfortunately, we do need this training to be a professional social worker. Like, this is part of the deal. I know some social work agencies, I can't tell you which nowadays, but the dude hired people in the first day. They were like this, like just messing around a little bit. He's like, you can leave now. And the dude fired him just for like checking a message on their phone during their work orientation. I was like, damn.
It's crazy, but it's called being professional though.
Right.
You should have known better.
Oh, I was shocked to hear that myself, because nowadays it's like a part of our awareness and aura and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. He told him to he's like, you can go. I was like, and I heard about it. I wasn't there, but I heard about it. So I was like, damn, like, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, I'm like, did he at least give out warning shots? And I don't know if he did. But anyway, boredom, errors and accidents, impatience and irritability. Some will come up with our paperwork. Physical depletion, so you're tired, pain, headaches, illness. You might get that as a student. Feelings of helplessness, withdrawing from relationships and isolation. Even grandiosity is one of those. Here's your poor self-care deadly dozen. So these are things you do that will make your shit worse. Toxic friends, and if you have toxic colleague support, little fun or not enough fun or humor or laughing in life or work. You got to have, and if you have toxic colleague support, little fun or not enough fun or humor or laughing in life or work. You got to have some, like you were saying, solution focus. I was going to ask you about your meeting. Did you say they were solution focused or positive in the meeting? Okay. And that's a good way to do it. She's like, I'm done. Yeah. Well, the water is softened now since we froze pipes. There's water softener in our water. It tastes like salt. Have you tasted the water?
That's
Like,
why I drink bottled water.
At all? Like,
there's like, go into the sink, wash your hands, and just go like that. It's salty. That's water softener. I'm serious.
I just washed my face.
It's salty.
Hey, you know it's crazy. I've been watching. Oh my god.
So you get ashy right away. Like,
Oh yeah, it's okay. I
right, okay, but the water wasn't this way before Christmas break. It's salty. It's salty. When we made coffee with it, it was nasty. So now I pour it through the Brita first and then make coffee with it.
But the water, I feel like the water always been hard on other people's skin. Some people's skin is cool, some people's skin is don't.
Right.
But I feel like right now it's weird. I feel
It's
like
worse.
Different.
It is. Since the water pipes froze, they've like dumped those pellets of salt in. It's called water softeners. I don't even know what they're called. And it softens it. I mean, wash your hands and taste it. And you tell me, as we made coffee with it, and it was salty coffee. It was nasty. So that's what it seems like.
I kind of like people say, like, people that's from Ohio and from here, this area, like they say, like, y'all skin not used to it. We not from here. They from here, so they use water. We use processed water out of Milwaukee, Chicago, and shit. So we not used to it.
I'm
Right.
about to say because I don't have a problem like this in people. I ain't gonna
You got the big old lake up there, the Great Lakes.
And we got like Friday
I'm about to say we don't never have no dead. We don't never have that.
We got some problems for sure. Shoot, I want to make sure she didn't write back because I'm going to say, I will. I can probably, gosh, where would I, so I go into here. So you guys, if you have bad coworkers, bad, toxic friends, no professional development, like every job you join should give you a training, professional development and train you for the job. No energy giving personal life. Say you go out every Friday, Saturday, drink and smoke a bunch. That's not replenishing you the way that you need to be replenished. I mean, certainly you can do what you do, but also eat enough vegetables, drink enough water, and like exercise, or you're going to be exhausted. Uh, Perfectionism and work tasks, that could be with paperwork. Here's where I'll send it to you guys, right? I do announcements. Very good at the old D2L. Self-care. Attach a file, self-care. What class do you have to present on self-care?
Right now, I know I have a presentation coming up. Right now. Also, I just wanted it for my own benefit.
Right, yeah. Self-care. It should be just in my files. Sometimes I don't find it, but whoops. Which is weird because I feel like we had just opened it. Here it is. Unless if this one's a little bit different. All right. So we also added when we made this PowerPoint that finance is a key to wellness because it's really easy in social work, or I said, important to keep track of it, especially in a job where it's not paying us a ton, not spending like we're bankers and ballers and whatever. I mean, we make decent money, but it's still good to be mindful about what you spend. And what it says, mismanagement of finances can quickly lead to unnecessary stress. There are many sources of information found online in your library. So this is the empty in the cup piece. Imagine yourself as a cup. You spend every workday here in joy. You also have your own stories, your own pain and joy. Eventually, your cup becomes full. Some days it's overflowing. You feel that you can't hear one more story of pain. You might snap at a loved one, as that's who are around the most. I'm just kidding. But like, or kids maybe are annoying you. So like you don't have patience wear out with them and you go home to your kids. So it says you feel like sleeping all day, you might snap at a loved one. Self-care is what you do to empty the cup. It's critical that you do empty your cup every day so you can re-engage in your life and your work in an effective and healthy way. Me, I do the walk thing. I try to do 4.1 to 6.5 miles a day, whatever it is. I try to do 10,000 steps. I try. I used to do 10 miles a day. Pray and meditate. What's that? You're saying exercise. So right, and that's so, and so we hit on that too. And they say, you know, certainly in whatever way you do your self-care, diversify your self-care. Like make sure you have some things that actually give back to your body, and diversify your self-care. Like make sure you have some things that actually give back to your body, and maybe it is switching from a smoke every weekend.
Maybe like a glass.
Right. Self-care, what do you, it is interesting they don't list booze and hot.
You can't
Okay.
You can't just do that.
Like, you can't just
And
be
then just be sitting.
Right. Because that could be stressful
That's
for
what I'm
people.
saying, because like it can be definitely be stressful. It's like, bro, if I'm stressed and I'm cooking, I'm about to eat this. Like, I'm about to demolish this.
Which is a weird statement, but like try to overeat on vegetables. All you're going to do is be sitting on the toilet and try to drink too much water. Like I know there's some disease where it or something, if you drank a gallon, you could bust your stomach open. None of us drink, eat enough vegetables. You'll just like poop your brains out. And that's a good cleanse where, yeah.
I can eat any vegetable, but
So for me, that's the thesis statement.
I can't stand cooked carrots.
What is it called?
Cooked carrots.
Interesting. I just cooked some last night.
Nah, I can't stand them. Some spinach. I got
Right.
some spinach.
Right.
Broccoli. I got you.
Much we be eating the snap peas.
Yeah.
Carrots,
Peas, I can't do peas.
I can't do.
Sugar snap peas are nice and sweet
Yeah,
though.
they're good. They're good. And I feel like
They're like sweet peas. So that's why I always say like things everybody has their. For me, mine would probably be sugar now, since I haven't drank or smoked since college because I was getting like 0.59 G's to eat healthy. But my addiction is probably sugar.
That's real, because people like.
I'm eating the chicken nugget as he's telling me, like, y'all really eat this stuff? I'm looking at him like, bro, that's what you mean? Like,
Right.
it's a chicken nugget, gang.
Right.
I'm like, but it's nothing healthy here. Like,
And it's called the Prayer of St. Francis. So like the dude lived in 1209 somewhere in Italy and took care of lepers. So he was kind of a social worker. He worked with leprosy and like kind of well known. He's always the dude pictured with him and St. Anthony always have animals, like they're feeding the deer or the birds, or they have a garden. So I like that. And for me, I include gardening as in I can grow the fresh greens or vegetables. So yeah, the